Good morning / afternoon, college football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. My goodness, what a week one that was. Can we get a hand clap? My gosh, week one is in the books. Man, the two-part week one for, of course, single A and, well, double A, the NJCAA, the triple CAA, Division II, Division III, the NAIA, all that good stuff is getting on into the second week now. Actually, some of that's jumbled up into the third, and actually, it's somewhere right around there. You guys get it. High school, of course, you can call it week 3, week 4, whatever it may have been, just wrapping up. Some schools had a week 0, some start earlier than others, but we do know some really cool things. We have some great matchups. My goodness, last week so much to get into, and well, let me just say that college football is back with a fury, and we already got some games going on this morning over here on the West Coast, or this afternoon if you're over there on the East Coast. We got plenty to get into today, joined in by my buddy Mr. Teran, and we got plenty to get to. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the Season 2 of 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we are, my goodness. Wow, what a week one it was. We're going to just get right into the action. Our apologies for going on a little bit later today. Things happen, life, you guys get it. But hey, we're still moving forward. We're still doing our thing. And even though there's some games live right now, we're going to have some fun checking in on them and just recapping what was a great week one and getting on into week number 2. So with that said, everybody welcome me. Of course, he is awesome, man. The myth, the legend, my guy, man. He is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer. He's host of like 75 different shows here at IE Sports Radio. I'm really not hesitant. I'm not exaggerating too much there. And he does pretty much everything else here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome me, one of the COOs of IE Sports Radio and dear friend of mine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Teran Rodriguez. What's going on? What are you doing today, man?
Hey, Larry. Great to be up and at 'em, and I'm ready to talk some college football.
You and me both, brother. Well, man, we got college and high school and all kinds of goodies. We got Norco eating Corona like a bowl of cereal on a Saturday morning. We have San Diego State looking about as impressive as, my goodness. Okay, how about this? San Diego State looked as impressive as the Mountain half store or Eddie Hall bench pressing 135. Yeah, that's how impressive San Diego State looked this week. So yeah, let's not talk about them too much this week, Teran. We already tore them apart on SoCal. That was fun. USC looked like a football team. But then again, it was just Rice. Today, they're taking on Stanford. Bitter rivals. Throw the rankings out. The records don't mean much right now because there's not much going on. But, well, not many games at the moment that have been played. But, oh my gosh, tonight's elephant in the room. Saturday night football. I almost said Sunday. I'm so excited for the NFL, of course. Just kicked off this past week. But we got, of course, Saturday night football, USC and Stanford. Getting down, man. Right now, we got some pretty good games coming up today, as a matter of fact. Number 24, Tennessee. Last year, they looked okay. This year, how will they look? They're taking on number 17, Pittsburgh. That seems like a pretty solid matchup coming up today. Ranked on ranked. Alabama and Texas are going head-to-head right now, and Texas is not backing down. Alabama ranked number 1 in the nation. Texas, right now, not ranked at all. However, they're tied 10-10. Go figure, Teran. The team that we always talk about being the faker team, the team that looks good on paper, the team that shows up and then loses the big ones. Well, they're trying to shut us up, Teran, because they're going toe-to-toe right now with the number 1 team in the nation. That's going on at the moment. Teran, we got Duke leading Northwestern. I didn't know Duke had a football team. I'm just kidding. Duke is leading Northwestern right now, 21-7, but then again, it's Northwestern. I'm sorry, Adam. So all these great things going on today, right? We got, of course, the Division 2, Division 1 AA, of course. going on. Division 3, lots of great matchups to talk about there. NAIA, Teran, unfortunately, OCC didn't get it done versus Golden West last weekend. I know that was a tough one, brother, but it's only one game. My RCC Tigers did what I thought they would do, but they still gave up 36 points. That kind of worries me versus Mount San Jac, of course, Mount San Jacinto College. So, yeah, lots to get into today. Teran, brother, how are you? First of all, man, before we get into any college talk, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I mean, I can't complain. I kind of overslept, but it's all good. It's all part of the grind, and I'm happy to be up and at 'em, and I am so happy to talk college football with you. This is what I love to do on my Saturday mornings.
Hey, you and me both, brother. Here on it just feels right, doesn't it? Talking Saturday, talking college football, man, with one of the bros, right? I mean, that's not all it is, right? I mean, that's what we do here at IE Sports Radio, man. Big family, and we just love talking our sports. And, well, right here, man, two brothers talking some football. So, with that said, Teran, let's get on into some action. First things first, quick little recap. We're not going to stay on this too long because we can't afford it because of time constraints. But last week, man, there were some games that just, in single A, of course, that were pretty solid, some that were head scratchers. I mean, just lots and lots of stuff going down. But first things first, man, you got to admire. You gotta love Florida State, man. Monday, they fought like hell. They really did. Louisiana, man, LSU came back with a freaking vengeance in that fourth quarter, but they got it done, man. And but you gotta love it, man. Damon Ramos, the guy that blocked a freaking PAT. I mean, how about that, man? As time expired, that's all it took. This thing was going to go into overtime. And, well, guess what? Blocked field goal, Florida State wins this thing. I mean, Teran, how about that game, man?
Yeah, it was quite the crazy outcome. I was impressed that LSU came back, but they got to remember that they got to excel in all three phases, including special teams. So, but Florida State looks pretty spry. They look really good for the most part. My only thing is, can they carry this momentum into ACC play? Because the ACC, I feel, is wide open. I mean, Clemson obviously demolished Georgia Tech, but it's just Georgia Tech. So we'll see what happens. I feel the ACC, if there's one word to describe it, it's an anomaly.
Agreed. LSU, they are, seriously, man. LSU is a solid football team, man, and they got stunned early, but my gosh, that comeback was nasty. I mean, they came back. We were going into the fourth quarter, 17-10, and LSU just scored. It was actually 17-3, like right before the end of the third quarter, and then boom, LSU scores, and then but somewhere in the start of the fourth quarter, man, Florida State goes up 24-10. It looked like that was going to be it, but in the last 5 minutes of the game, actually the last 4 minutes and 7 seconds, LSU scores 2 times, and well, that last one, man, I'm sorry, and I'm so sorry. Damian Ramos, of course, the kicker. But yeah, man, just blocked, and what a deal there. What a way to lose a game, what a way to win a game. I mean, but that was a great game last Sunday night. Then, of course, Monday night, and before Clemson did what we thought they were going to do to Georgia Tech in the Chick-fil-A kickoff, it's 41-10. I mean, it is what it is. But last week, Teran, I just want to bring up a couple of games that were pretty surprising to me, or that I thought were pretty good from just around the country. You can go ahead and bring yours in as well if you want to second the ones I did or whatever. But whichever, and I can do the same thing whenever I can second some of the ones you did. But really quick, man, Florida upsetting number 7 Utah. That was just awesome. 29-26. Talk about a great football game, man. Florida scores with 1:25 to go in the game and wins that thing. How about that? And they did it at home in the Swamp. I mean, really just a solid game. In Utah, man, a team that I didn't think was going to lose very many games this year, especially to unranked teams. I thought they were better than Florida, but chomp, man. They really got it done. Can't forget that's an SEC school. Some people will definitely remind me about that. I totally get that. Even though Wyoming in Tulsa wasn't like a big headliner game, it was still on TV. And damn, it was a good game, man. 40-37. Tulsa fought very, very hard. I know Josh Allen is no longer there, and I know they haven't been really, the Wyoming Cowboys they were then that they or now that they were then. But 2 overtimes, man, that's still impressive. 40-37 victory there. But really, just some good stuff, man. Some good football games that I thought were pretty solid. Yeah, some big time blowouts that we're not going to pay much attention to. But overall, man, just some good games. I think the game though that was the kick in the pants. The number 13 NC State over ECU. I mean, the kicker, I know it's the story of the kickers, unfortunately missing an extra point and then getting a chance to redeem himself, missing the field goal at the end. That was hard to watch. But yeah, overall, there were some good ones. I know you probably want to get into Oregon and Georgia and Cincinnati and Arkansas. Those are pretty good games, Teran. And we won't get into Arizona just, smacking around San Diego State. I'm sorry, I had to say it one more time this show. But, and then, of course, the big one that I really liked was, actually, I have one more before this one, South Dakota State over Iowa. Iowa over South Dakota State. Some people may say, like, that wasn't a great game. No, that was a freaking fantastic game. For all of you people out there who are haters of defense, shame on you. I mean, I'm sorry, but that was a great football game. 2 great defenses went head-to-head, man. Yeah, some offensive blips, I'm sure. Didn't get a chance to watch all the game and everything, but Iowa, man, I watched the end of it. It was really, really, really good game. They pulled it out over South Dakota State. Goes to show you how strong the Jacks are. 7-3, the Hawkeyes win. And then, of course, recapping the big game of the last week. Number 2, Ohio State, and number 5, Notre Dame. Honestly, Teran, I thought this game was going to be a little bit more spaced out. That's no disrespect to Notre Dame, even as a USC fan, but I honestly just thought Ohio State was going to take off. At the half, it was 10-7 Notre Dame, and then boom, it was crazy. Ohio State will shut out Notre Dame the rest of the game. That's the only touchdown they got, and then of course the field goal early on in the game. But what a game, man! Ohio State manages to score 2 touchdowns, one in the third quarter, one in the fourth quarter, and win this thing 21-10. Solid football game there, man. But Teran, go ahead, man. Have the floor. How about you, man? Any of the games that stood out to you the most?
Well, obviously you mentioned Georgia and Oregon. I was not expecting that smackdown. That was just ugly, dude. I was just baffled by that. And then, as you mentioned as well, NC State and ECU, just goes to show that special teams are basically big for teams as well. And it's disappointing because it would have been great to see ECU pulling off that win. And it would have given us an idea of who NC State is. But I think this isn't any disrespect to NC State, but I feel the word to describe NC State so far is lucky, just because they nearly lost that one. They should have maybe won by a lot more, but credit ECU. They are the real deal, and we'll know more about NC State once ACC play starts out. Obviously, I was a little surprised to see them being ranked so high, but they do have a lot of promise, so we'll see what happens with them going forward. And it was just an interesting yet eventful week of college football last week. And honestly, we're going to get a lot more results. I think last week was kind of more of the teams feeling each other out, and then the rest of the teams now know who they are, kind of. So that's just my little take on it.
No, absolutely, Teran. Yeah, special teams matters for those of you who don't think they do, or that don't think, oh yeah, kicker. No, they make money, man. Yeah. Georgia, absolutely though, smacked around Oregon, 49-3. That was just sad to watch. Oregon needs to go back to the drawing board before they ever play anybody like that again. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Teran. That's like, I don't know. Teran, do you remember playing like, when you were a kid, just playing video games, or like me, because when I first started playing Madden or whatever, do you remember putting it on the hardest difficulty possible to see if you can test yourself and then getting destroyed by the computer? Do you remember that?
Well, I think so, yeah. But I probably plan to do that eventually. But, yeah, not even being up 28-3 didn't help Oregon, or not even trailing 28-3 helped Oregon, because Georgia laid the wood down on them.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how I felt like when I first put all Madden for the first time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try all Madden. Yeah, never mind. No, 48-0. No, I'm good. Sorry, I'm going to practice some more. I mean, I hate to say it, but man, Oregon needs lots of practice. No, we'll see. For game 1 is what it is, and then of course number 19 Arkansas over number 23 Cincinnati, 31-24. Very good game here and solid game by the Razorbacks. So with that said, Teran, let's dabble a little bit into high school football, man. The number 1 team in the land got it done last night. Oh my gosh, did they get it done over Central Catholic, the Central Catholic Rams in Portland, Oregon. Yep, they went way up north last night. And, well, they would take the second game here. How about this team, man? St. John Bosco now 2-0, number 1 in the land, even though they're not the defending. 3-0. Number 1 in the land. And, they're a good team, but I don't know. I just thought that the old number 1 should stay number 1, but that's not even true in college football. But regardless, Mater Dei still doing their thing. Let's take a quick look here at the rest of these top 5 teams. Mater Dei, of course, now going 4-0, just absolutely eating La Mirada alive last night. La Mirada 35-0. Yeah, well, that was it. There's not much to talk about there. St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Maryland, last night, going up 2-0 now after destroying DeSoto 47-7. Central in Miami, the number 4 team in the nation, would take out let's see, who is, I want to make sure, Booker T. Washington in Miami, Florida. They would defeat them 36-19. Good game there. Central 2-0, remaining undefeated on the season. And St. Thomas Aquinas, they're the Raiders, cool, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They will now go to 3-0 as they will defeat Coca. I don't want to butcher their name, but 42-14. I always say that and I butcher names, my apologies. But yeah, some good games here, and one game that I guess really have to hone in on. Teran, last year Hamilton absolutely just gave us a show coming back and defeating Bishop Gorman on the road, I think. Yeah, well, no, they were home, and what a game it was. Hamilton will knock off Bishop Gorman. Well, let's just say Bishop Gorman remembered that. And last night, 45-0, destroyed Hamilton. Tough luck for them. They're the number 7. I know I just skipped over number 6, but that's pretty much it, you guys. We're going to spend too much time. We've got a lot to get to today. But Teran, anything else to add for any of these games, man? How about some high school football?
Yeah, Bishop Gorman really... I'm not surprised that they won, because remember, they almost beat Mater Dei, but it's so tough to beat Mater Dei, honestly. Yeah. So I knew Bishop Gorman was going to win. I didn't think they would be that emphatic. Zero doubt, though. So kudos to them. Last night I saw an underrated match between San Clemente and Corona Del Mar. San Clemente really played some great defense. Long story short, they played great defense. They held their opponent to 6. Their defense is vastly underrated, and they don't get the national recognition, but they do get the statewide recognition. So that was just something I checked out. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but overall, I am not surprised Bosco. I'm very surprised Bosco was able to go on the road and just shut out the opponent, but Bosco is just that good, man. I'm really going to be interested to see how Mater Dei and Bosco do. And speaking of which, I did hear that it might be played at SoFi Stadium this year. That's not fully confirmed, but it's what I'm hearing.
That's pretty cool, actually. And Teran, by the way, Corona Del Mar, yeah, good game last night, 23-6 at CDM. Next week, man, Edison, my goodness, San Clemente will take on Edison. And the week after that, they're going to head over here, not too far from Celia and I, taking on Mariota Valley, the Nighthawks, in a couple of weeks. So that seems pretty cool. Let's take a look at the chat room. Good afternoon, gents. Mike Pat says, FSU off this week, but how about that game against LSU? You just missed it. We spent a good amount of time on that one, Mike. But, man, how about that? Way to hold off the comeback, as we talked about. What a way for Florida State to win that thing. And, yeah, no game this week. I didn't know that, but thank you, Mike. But, man, how about that game? Very true. But really quick, moving forward, though, Teran, we have here St. John Bosco, once again, the number 1 team in the land, taking on Kahuku, sorry. Wow. Sorry, my bad. They are 3-0 right now. Team in Hawaii. They'll be taking them on this week. The number 2 team in the nation, even though I think they're number 1. No disrespect to St. John Bosco. Miliani, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm not even sure. But Mater Dei will take them on. They're coming from Hawaii as well. So we got that going down. St. Francis Academy in Baltimore over there. Mike covers DMV. So, yeah, Mike, how about the number 3 high school team in the nation, man? They'll be taking on Venice. They'll be headed on over to Venice, Florida, to take them on this week. Also, we have Central Miami. They'll be headed to take on Carroll City. Of course, that is also in Miami. And I don't know if that's a rival or not. And then St. Thomas Aquinas will be headed on over to take on Western, and Western is located in Davie, Florida. So those are your current top 5 in high school right now, and what a top 5 they are. So let's see how things continue for them. But Teran, let's just go ahead and just get the elephant out of the room. The CCAA, man. Oh, the California Junior College Association, whichever you want to call it. Teran, last week, not a good start for OCC, but how about Golden West, man?
I'm sorry, you said not a good start for OCC. Yeah, it was not a good start, but Golden West, remember, they were the runner-up when it came to the regional championship behind RCC, so I'm not too surprised to see Golden West being so dominant, but I kind of was surprised to see OCC having the lead and then just not scoring ever again. It's no enough team to open up with. But the RCC Tigers look really good, despite the defense giving up so many points.
Yeah, Teran, I wasn't very happy about that. I'm just going to be real. I'll be like, come on, man. Like, I get it. That's no slight to Mount St. Jack at all. Mount St. Jacinto has come a long way, and I'm so happy that they can actually play with teams like RCC now. But it's just the fan in me that's like, okay, we put up a lot of points. That was cool. But just, I don't know. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, come on, guys. The first game of the season. Let's get the bugs out. Is what it is, but just solid game though, man. Final score in that one, by the way, I was also played at Ramona High School. But Riverside, of course, 59-36. Solid game last week, and then of course a couple other games that were my goodness. Fullerton destroyed Santa Ana, 56-7. That was just a freaking beat down city right there. Very good game. Cerritos taking on Pasadena City College. Cerritos will win that one 33-31. Talk about a good game there. COD knocking off San Bernardino Valley 37-20 at home. So lots of big games at home. Oh, sorry, lots of big games. Lots of big games last week. As you mentioned, Teran, just filling each other out. Laney defeated Modesto up north. That's 26-25. Laney, champions from a couple of years ago. They were the last chance U. So check that out. That's always cool. Last chance U, great show. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. But moving on to this week, well, Teran, we had a couple of games actually last night. Laney now at 2-0. They defeated American River 13-9 last night. Also, the defending champions that beat RCC last year, City College San Francisco defeated Sacramento City 30-10. Ouch. So, and then today, oh my goodness, we got some good ones. Good old Palomar is heading on over. The Comets are heading over to take on Golden West. Long Beach heads over to take on Riverside. It's actually going to happen in a little bit. They're probably already getting ready to do early outs. So, yeah, that game starts at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So they're getting ready to go head-to-head in just a little bit. Let's go Tigers. And, yeah, so some solid games to get into week number 2. San Bernardino Valley is definitely going to have their hands full with Allen Hancock. Citrus and Grossmont should be good. So that over there, Azusa taking on a San Diego team. Let's see, Fresno City taking on Sierra. That should be another solid game there. Santa Ana and Moore Park. Some good games, actually. Mount San Jacinto will go take on Antelope Valley. Let's see if they can get their first win of the season there. Cerritos taking on Fullerton High School at Fullerton Union High School. Another solid football game there. And, yeah, so, Teran, so I'll let you go ahead and talk about Orange Coast. But how about some games you're looking forward to today for the CCAA? Did we lose Teran? I think we lost Teran. Well, really quick.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute. I'm sorry. There was a leaf blower in the back.
No, you're good. You're good, Teran.
Yeah. So Cerritos Fullerton is going to be a great little matchup right there. And Saddleback Mount San Antonio, that's going to be a great matchup. Bakersfield El Camino, that should be a somewhat under the radar matchup. And as you mentioned, RCC versus Long Beach City is going to be impressive. The storyline is, can Riverside step up defensively, and can Long Beach prove that they can hang with the big boys? Because last week Long Beach beat, I think it was like LA Southwest College.
Yeah.
They demolished them up from what I heard. But overall, this is going to be the first big test for both teams, especially Long Beach. So I'm really excited for that matchup. And yeah, those are kind of my big-time matchups to watch for this week.
Absolutely. Good stuff there, Teran. And good old Mike Pat in the chat room. The curse of the mute. You got to love it. Mike also says here, he says, dang, number 3 team in high school football is in the DMV? That doesn't happen usually. Well, actually, Mike, it does. We've been covering high school football. Oh, my gosh, I'm going too fast today. This darn coffee has got me. We've been covering high school football for a couple of years now, and yeah, man, every year, right, Teran? Freaking St. Francis Academy is always in that top 5, man, or right around there. He says here that, I know the DeMatha Catholic and Suitland occasionally have great teams, but never, nationally ranked. So, yeah, go look them up on Max Preps, Mike. What we use, of course, to get all of our sources here. The St. Francis Academy Panthers, currently number 3 in the nation. So you might want to check them out, everybody over there in the DMV, man. They play schools different places, like a lot like St. John Bosco and Mater Dei over here, and Bishop Gorman over here on the West Coast. Oh, yeah, they travel, man. And, of course, those Florida schools like the IMG Academy and, those big-time schools around. So, yeah, without a doubt, solid stuff there, and might want to check them out, Mike, on Let's Wind About Sports. So, with that said, Teran, let's go ahead and get on into a little NJCAA and see if any JV teams are playing. I'm sorry. Teran, when you told me there was JV teams, I just, yeah,
it's baffling.
I didn't think junior colleges had JV teams, but okay. Anyway, so last week, Teran, oh, man, just some beatdowns. Dog City is just not looking good this year so far. Coffeyville defeated them 38-10. Dog City, usually a pretty solid team. We have Snow. Snow is, I think, of course, probably one of the better programs in the country for junior college. But, of course, New Mexico Military, the team that won it all last year, they had something to say about that, knocking off Snow 38-7. Talking about that beat down there. Lackawanna defeating Nassau 21-14. Solid game there. Hutchinson, man, is hanging 70 points on Ellsworth. 70-7. Ouch. So some big time blowouts there. And then of course Iowa Central defeating Garden City for 40-21, so a few key games there. Moving forward on to this week, Teran, I don't know if we had any games yesterday. We did! East Mississippi, the very first last chance you will lose to Jones yesterday. East Mississippi is now 1-1. Jones, they'll win 42-28. And Copia Lincoln defeated Mississippi Delta 37-7. Of course, Mississippi Gulf Coast, a team that won it all a couple of years ago as well. 37-13 over Itawamba. They're now 1-1 on the season, so some pretty good teams here in the mix. Also, Northwest Mississippi defeating Hines. I don't know if Northwest Mississippi won one or not, or they were close a couple of years ago, but they were there. Somewhere close to the top of the NJCAA, but they will defeat Hines 31-28. Some good stuff there. And then, of course, on to today. That was on Thursday, by the way. And then, of course, today, Independence and Coffeyville. Hey! Independence, we all know them from Last Chance U from a couple of years ago. They'll be going head-to-head there. And let's see if we got any other ones. Navarro and New Mexico Military. Can New Mexico Military just keep on doing what they're doing, which they look like they sure can. Garden City and Iowa Western. Iowa Central and Hutchinson, also another solid key matchup there. Highland from Kansas taking on Dog City. And yeah, so some pretty good games coming out of the gates here. Teran, anything for NJCAA?
No, not really, other than the fact that we had some good matchups last week. I was quite impressed with some of the matchups, even though we saw mainly blowouts, but overall, I'm interested to see in some of these matchups like Minnesota State and North Dakota
SCS.
I don't know what the SCS stands for, but Highland and Dodge City kind of has me interested. Snow, can they bounce back against Butler? Lackawanna taking on Monroe College. That looks interesting. I think we have ourselves another good slate of NJCAA. And the best part is, and let me just go back and check, yeah, there are no JV teams playing.
Darren, we had a good laugh that time. It was almost like the Teran laugh. I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about the Teran game no more. That was funny.
I actually went back a couple to last season when it came to us having funny moments. When you brought up the Raiders-Browns toilet bowl, that cracked me up. I have to flip that.
Teran, that's exactly what it is. I'm sorry. That's what that game is. It's the toilet bowl. I mean, the winner wins a plunger. I don't know what else to say, Teran. I don't know. That's pretty much what the Raiders and Browns are. I'm sorry. But so with that said, Teran, let's pop back in to some of the games from this week in single A. Teran, if I told you that number 1 Alabama and unranked Texas right now are still at 10-10 with 32 seconds to go in the second quarter, you would tell me...
Yeah.
That's the answer.
By that.
That's the answer that I thought I was going to get. Yeah, the same here.
Yeah, and I just refreshed my ESPN page, and yeah, it's still 10-10. I thought it was just my ESPN app being frozen.
Yeah, Teran, that was... Wow, yeah, I wasn't expecting this, but okay. So Duke still leading Northwestern 21-10, no surprise there. So yeah, and Southern Utah and number 13 Utah. Well, let's just say that game shouldn't be very tough for the Utes, but watch Southern Utah come out and ball. We'll see. Anyway, so I've got a couple games going on today as of right now in single A. We shall come back on over to to single A in just a little bit. But, Teran, Division III football, the top 25. Man, how about last week? Some pretty big games. I definitely didn't pay too much attention. I had a lot going on last week, but man, Teran, we had some good football games. We really did. Number 14, Delaware Valley, actually had a pretty tough time with Westminster, Pennsylvania. But hey, still got the victory, 22-8. I guess it looked like it was a tough time, but good game there. Next up, Mount Union, number 3, Mount Union absolutely destroyed Defiance, 65-0. Okay, and this was probably one of the better games of the week. Number 6, Wisconsin Whitewater, and number 4, St. John's. Man, they would go head-to-head. But St. John's knocking off Whitewater 24-10 here. Man, that was a good top 10 battle. St. John's proving that they got the upper hand in that one. And really just a couple of, games that were like worthy to talk about. Other than that, there was just a bunch of blowouts and different stuff here. Actually, number 7, Linfield, would have a very tough time with Huntington. 41-34 on the road, but they still got that one done. And then, of course, the number 1 team in the land. Teran, we talked about this possibly being a good game last week, and it wasn't. But at least we thought it might be. Number 18, Muhlenberg, completely got destroyed by number 1, Mary Hardin Baylor, of course. Those Crusaders are a tough team, Teran. And like I said, I feel we're going to be talking about them coming up in December, somewhere near or around the Stagg Bowl. So Mary Hardin Baylor, 62-13, just absolutely destroying Muhlenberg. So, Teran, any thoughts on any of those games from last week in Division III?
Yeah. As soon as my thing wants to freaking load, I've seen Shrine. They shut out another opponent.
What?
Like that one time. Shrine, Division III, right?
Division III.
Yeah, Shrine shut out an opponent. They managed to shut out. Who did they play? And Indianapolis? Anderson of Indianapolis. They shut out Anderson 38-0.
Good for you, Teran!
Yes.
Teran, Teran got a win. Teran got a victory today, last week, Teran, but will they get a vote?
Yes, will they get a vote in shutting them out?
Oh, no. One day, Teran, we're going to get a nasty letter from somebody from Teran and be like, no, screw you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was just funny that year when that happened. They still got to vote after getting blown out. But it was what the person said, though. Like, they got a friend or they know somebody. But wow, Teran, how about that? Anything else for Division 3 this week, man?
I'm sorry if I brought that up, but
it's okay.
It looks like most of the matches were pretty one-sided. There were some good defensive battles, and there were some tight matchups, but it's like most of them were blowouts for the most part.
That's the truth. Sometimes you're going to get that in Division 3. But, Teran, there are some games going on right now that I'm pretty excited about. Number one, dude, how about this one right now? This has to be the game of the week. Maryland and Baylor is taking on Wisconsin and Whitewater. It's 7-7 right now with 1:11 to go in the first quarter. That should be a damn good game moving forward. That's actually my game of the week, man. I don't even got no more games to talk about. That's the game I'm talking about right there. Terry, how about you, man? Any games you like this week from Division 3?
So looking at this, well, we had some Friday games happening.
Oh.
They all look good if you ask me. I'm kind of interested to see how the later games start. It looks like some of these games have started, but we haven't really gotten an update on them. Come on, NCAA. Do something. Do something about it.
I know, right?
Anyway, I accidentally clicked on Whittier and CMS, which I Claremont Mud Scripts, yeah. I guess that's an interesting matchup to watch for. But, yeah, I think all of our Division 3 matchups look really good this week. I'm excited for them. And it was quite coincidental I clicked on Whittier and Claremont Mud Scripts.
Of all teams on Teran. But
yeah, that was pretty much on accident. It wasn't intentional. I promise.
Talk about an upset last week, Teran. Division 2 football. Cuts-down. Number 14 Cuts-down. Will lose to Assumption, unranked Assumption. Do you want to know what the score was, Teran?
Please tell me it was low scoring.
3-0.
Beautiful.
What a game. What a football game. That's our kind of football game, Teran. That's a good football game right there. Oh, what a game.
Amazing.
Right? Hats off to Assumption, man. Get a nice victory there last week. By the way, our game of the week last week in Division 2, this is going on over to the DMV, back where Mike Pat is. Bowie State, number 12, Bowie State will defeat New Haven 27-20. Teran, we both said that was going to be the game to watch, the game to look for, and man, was it a game. Once again, Bowie State knocking off New Haven 27-20. Number 12, Bowie State knocking off number 18, New Haven, that is. So really good stuff there. Overall, man, I mean, yeah, there were some good ones, but that was the game to watch for last week. Just gotta love these ranked games when these guys go head-to-head. And then really, there was nothing really. I guess Albany State and Mississippi College went head-to-head. Albany State defeated them 28-14, so not really much of a near upset, but close enough. West Florida, we talked about this last week. They took on the NAIA team. Warner, number 7, West Florida did, and they would defeat them 52-3. So yeah, big game there for West Florida. But then I think the upset of the entire season. I'm just kidding. But the upset definitely to start off the season, man. Number 15, Western Colorado will absolutely get destroyed by West Texas A&M, 44-6. My gosh. When a team that high ranked gets beat that bad, what are you thinking, Teran?
That is rather interesting to say the least. I'm very surprised that a team of that Excalibur got beaten so badly. So, yeah, you and me both are surprised at that result.
Well, Teran, last week Kutztown was ranked, right? And they got beat by Assumption 3-0, right? Unranked Assumption, right?
Yep.
Kutztown is now losing to number 18 California 10-7 at the half. Kutztown, man, we got an emergency here. They gotta step it up. But
yeah,
that's a ow. But as of right now, that's number 20 Slippery Rock leading Westchester 14-7. Another ranked game there right now. This has got to be the game right now for sure. They're in the first quarter. I guess Lenore Ryan got a safety, but number 1 Ferris State, the team that won it all last year, is up 7-2 over number 17 Lenore Ryan. in the first quarter, so we've got a good game going there. Number 1 versus number 7, definitely the game of the week for these two. And also Angelo State, number 7 Angelo State taking on number 9 Colorado Mines. That's coming up in actually about 20 minutes right now, well, in 20 minutes when the show concludes. Another solid game there in Division 2, and, well, that's really it. I don't see anything else that's like major ranked on ranked. How about you, Teran? Do you see anything this week that looks good in Division 2?
Well, other than the Tuts versus California, Cal-U, everything else looks pretty interesting. The NCAA site must not be too keen on putting their rankings on the matchups, but overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing in Division 2. I really think there are some interesting matchups to watch for later on the day, and I can't wait to see what happens. I think Division 2 is starting to become more of an anomaly than maybe the ACC. I really think Division 2, there's no clear-cut favorites. Obviously, you have your heavy favorites at the top, but I think in the middle and maybe the bottom of the ranked teams, I think we're getting more like mixed results, and we're not going to really have the set teams that everyone thinks that are going to be set in the ranked.
Yeah, Teran, for sure. And another one today coming up later on today, number 4 Grand Valley and number 24 Colorado State Pueblo go head-to-head. So some good stuff there. Let's get on over to the NAIA, Teran, real quick while we can. Got about 20 minutes left here in the show. NAIA, of course, some great football always going down there. And it's just kind of funny how this site always seems to give me problems, and Teran gets these games so easy. I don't know how he does it. But let me take a quick look here and see if it's going to give me any issues today. And it is, Teran. It is going to give me issues. So what do you see? Well, first things first. Last week, man, how about some big matchups from the NAIA?
Yeah, I'm on the site. Don't worry, I got your back, Larry. I've got this for you. So see, we have. Oh my goodness, we have some close matchups right off the bat. As Allegiant Nazarene was edged out by Siena Heights 28-24.
Good game.
Faulkner beat At Point 14-10. Wayland Baptist beat Hardin Simmons Hardin Simmons beat Wayland Baptist 79-14.
My goodness, that's a Division II school.
Yep. Butler beat St. Thomas 31-26. Grandview beat Benedictine. I think this was kind of the upset, even though isn't Grandview considered good practically every year, but Benedictine lost to Grandview 44-42.
Golly.
Oh, and this was the matchup that I saw on Twitter.
Oh,
Marion laid down the wood against Madonna 86-0.
Man, they must be somehow telepathically linked to Norco, man. I mean, golly, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think the big one that kind of surprised me was College of Idaho beating Rocky Mountain. Now, I've always seen College of Idaho being a solid team, but I think Rocky Mountain just fell a little bit short, and I just think they were a little bit behind. But give credit to College of Idaho. I had a buddy that played up there, and I think College of Idaho is an underrated NAIA program.
They are, and seriously, solid team. They finally got the dang thing to work here, Teran. But yeah, how about that, man? Lots and lots of good games last week. It looks like we got some ranked ones in here, dude. As always, thanks for having my back, brother. We have here, and nothing too crazy, actually. I don't even know if there was any ranked last week, or there could have been. But I'm not getting the ranks here. Regardless, man, there were... Marion winning that one was pretty darn huge. Morningside snuck one by. Northwestern, my goodness. Morningside defeated them 30-29 at Elwood Olsen Stadium. Not sure if that's at Morningside or not, but oh my gosh. The defending champions, they're 2 in a row now, back-to-back, on the ropes there. How about that game? Some really good football from last week in the NAIA, I'll tell you that right now. But, really definitely move on over. Do we have anything last week on? We did, but nothing too big there. So okay, so today's games, Teran. We got a couple of them that are already in progress, and let's see here. Madonna's taking on Northwood, so let's hope they can do something to try to somewhat erase that horrible beatdown last week from Marion. That was just one-sided. So let's take a look here if we have any other big-time games going on here. Now, let's see. No, I don't really see much, actually. It's kind of crazy. Not even later on. My goodness, this is kind of a chill day, I guess. I don't know. But I want to say big-time ranked on ranked. But I do know there'll be plenty more coming up this season. I mean, I got the list of games in front of me, but once again, I don't really see anything that's popping out to me here. I guess if I got to pick a game that's going to be pretty solid, a good NAIA game, probably going to be Grandview at Baker. That looks like a pretty good game there. But other than that, a couple games going on at the moment right now. St. Francis at St. Francis. Well, 24 to 0. The St. Francis team on the road is winning that one so far with 13:50 to go in the second quarter. So, so good stuff there. Teran, anything for the NAI before we move forward, man?
Oh no. Sorry. The matchup I'm kind of interested in is, I'm seeing this interesting matchup, Concordia of Michigan versus St. Ambrose. I don't know how good Concordia is in terms of football on Michigan side. There are a lot of Concordias, so don't get it confused with Concordia of Illinois or Concordia of Irvine, which doesn't have a football team, and all the other Concordias out there. But I want to see how Benedictine responds today against Peru State. I really want to see them attempting to bounce back. And Eastern Oregon at Whitworth, I want to see how they do. I feel Eastern Oregon is a perennially good team every single year. And we've got some other good matchups like Morningside at Dordt. That's going to be a good one. Morningside a couple of years ago, won the NAIA championship, if I'm not mistaken.
They sure did. The two in a row.
So I really want to see how they're able to pick up the pieces and try to get back on the horse of trying to be a champion. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Kansas Wesleyan at Sterling should also be a good matchup, too.
Certainly, man. We've got lots and lots of great football coming up today. Let's take a look at the Double A, man, because we certainly had some good ones last week. I just want to continue to emphasize, man, what a game South Dakota played versus Iowa last week. Certainly one of the better games. I really enjoyed that one for sure. But overall, just a lot of, I don't want to call them cupcakes, but, a lot of those games that were just kind of bland. Big ups to the University of Laverne, the school that I played at. That took on, I'm pretty sure they're a D1 or, FCS school last week, man. But Laverne getting destroyed 58-0. But still, man, that's the chance to even play a team that's that many, divisions up. Solid stuff for them. Let's see here. We have, yeah, nothing much. Just a lot of games that were, FCS, FBS teams there. But coming up today, as a matter of fact, we're starting to get more of the FCS groove, if you will. So as of right now, we're still looking for those Division I AA upsets that are always fun. Idaho State and San Diego State. I'm just kidding, Teran. Where that's going to be going down today. So South Dakota and Montana, another solid game. It's actually a pretty good one, I believe, going up. Let's see. Northern Iowa and North Dakota. I like this one a lot. Two solid, very solid football teams here. 0-1 Panthers of Northern Iowa taking on the Fighting Hawks, the 0-1 Fighting Hawks. Someone's going to win today. So we shall see. And then really just not much more. It's still a lot of FCS, FBS, the tune-up games, if you will. And that's really it. Oregon takes on Eastern Washington. It'll be hilarious if Eastern Washington gives them a really good game. That means Oregon has a lot of tuning up to do, but I don't think that'll happen. So anyway, so with that said, you guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy here. Plus, we got to make our picks for Division I this week for Single A. So nothing crazy. UC Davis, South Dakota State. I think after last week, South Dakota State is probably going to eat UC Davis alive, probably. I don't know. I guess my guess. But San Diego and Poly. That should be a good one. Teran, you want to lead into that one, man? San Diego, not the Toreros. What are they, Teran? San Diego.
San Diego Toreros.
San Diego Toreros taking on the Cal Poly Broncos of SLO, San Luis Obispo, Mustang. Cal Poly, that's right, because Cal Poly Pomona are the Broncos, right?
Right,
and,
there you go.
Yeah, gosh darn it. Yeah, I went to Laverne, so I was right next to them. I would see them sometimes. But yeah, the Mustangs. This should be a good matchup, Teran. 1-0 San Diego, 0-1 Cal Poly, and Cal Poly is actually favored by 8 points. How do you like that one?
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting and fun little perennial FCS matchups when it comes to football. I really think this could go either way between the Broncos and the Toreros. Last I checked, I want to say it was Cal Poly that won this one last year. So I really think that it is going to come down to the wire. I should have talked about this yesterday. That was my bad, but it's all good. So I really like, I want to say the Toreros, but I don't know. I think Cal Poly will win this one. I mean, didn't San Diego play like an NCAA Division 2 or 3 school last week? They played Laverne, and I'm kind of wonder why they did that.
Yeah, Division 3.
While we're on the topic of FCS schools, I did mention one time that there were only 3 teams that did not schedule an FCS school: USC, UCLA, and Notre Dame. Well, one of those schools unfortunately broke the code as UCLA scheduled, who was it, Alabama State? Either way, Alabama State. Either way, UCLA is no longer part of the don't schedule FCS club. So it's now USC and Notre Dame that have never scheduled an FCS opponent, which those two should be honored.
They shall. And, well, moving forward, Darren, that's a good pick there. A solid pick there on the Big West. You gotta love the Big Sky. The Big Sky is a great conference, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Lots of great football there. But, Darren, we got 8 minutes left here in the show. And it's time to get on into, of course, some of these big games coming up today. And, of course, leading into the big one, USC and Stanford. But, man, Teran, we got some games. Number 24, Tennessee and Pitt. Should be a very, very good game there. UNLV and Cal. I actually kind of want to... I'm interested. Because what if UNLV were to pull this off? I'm just saying, that's kind of crazy. Iowa State and Iowa, my gosh, that's going to be a good game because it always is a good game. Number 20, Kentucky, and number 12, Florida going head-to-head. It's a ranked game right there. Very, very, very good. Tarleton, hey, Division II, Tarleton State will be taking on TCU. It's probably going to be a little lopsided there. Check out how about that, Teran? Tarleton's a Division II school taking on TCU. How did that even happen? I like this. Taking on bigger school. Because why not, man? Unless Tarleton made the jump up, which I don't know if they did, and if they did, I'm going to sound like an idiot. But they did. Okay, I'm stupid. Sorry. Tarleton did go up to the WAC now, the Western Athletic Conference. So, oh man, I thought they were Division II. I was like, oh crap, that's crazy. But I was going to say, hey, if Division III Laverne can jump up and play San Diego. But, man, that's out of the SIAC. But that's crazy. We also got, of course, number 9 Baylor and number 21 BYU. So some good games here, Teran. But, of course, we got to get into SC and USC coming up. But other than that game, any games that stand out to you today, Teran?
So the Baylor BYU one is going to be very interesting. You want to know why? Because BYU is eventually going to join the Big 12. So they should get used to facing teams like Baylor, because Baylor's still staying in the Big 12, and unlike Texas and Oklahoma, which are jumping over to SEC country. But yeah, BYU is going to have, it's going to be interesting to see how BYU does against Baylor. BYU always seems to do well in their stadium, but I would not count out Baylor. Baylor is still a very solid team. So that's gone into USC Stanford.
Teran, this is the game. They've met 101 total times, courtesy of Wikipedia.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much, Wikipedia. What happened, Teran?
Oh, no, nothing. Sorry.
Okay. And the first meeting, 1905. On November 4th, 1905, Stanford defeated USC 16-0. Their last meeting, September 11, 2021, where Stanford would beat number 14 USC 42-28. This, of course, happened last year, and freaking USC would fall apart, and Stanford, unranked, would just, knock them off. USC leads the all-time series, 64-34-3. It says here, according to Wikipedia, one USC win is vacated. But regardless, the largest victory, we don't even want to get into that. All I know is SC and Stanford are playing today. And as of right this very minute, currently Stanford leads it, of course. Stanford doesn't lead it, but they just won the last one. And, it says 56-30-3 is what USC leads. I don't know. But I do know one thing for a fact, Teran. Last year, USC fell to Stanford, and it sucked. I know, I'm being a biased USC fan. Teran's a USC fan, too. Sorry, Stanford fans. But at least we give you guys a lot of credit and props. But today, Teran, what do you think? You talked about this already on your show yesterday on the SoCal Screen Sports Show. Teran, from what you think, do you think the Trojans are ready? Do you think they can handle another tough Stanford team, unranked, coming at them today to upset them and knock them off from their current rank? Or do you really think the Trojans this year have it together and can knock off Stanford? What do you think?
It'll be tough to win at the Farm, but I have USC winning. I really think that this USC team is for real. They just have to make sure they dominate in all phases of the game, dominate time of possession, make sure the defense is a well-oiled machine. We all know that Stanford can be such a tricky, under-the-radar team. You saw what happened with Florida and Utah. So USC needs to be careful because no team is safe when it comes to college football. Any given Saturday.
Absolutely, Dan.
Or any given day in general.
Absolutely. And it's been a game. It's been a great rivalry. And I'll tell you what, man, these two teams have gone head-to-head many, many times. And, I too believe and hoping that USC can pull this thing off, man. I mean, good, solid football team. I really do believe in this team, and I think that, hey, they can pull off today. The Farm is not an easy place to win at, as well as I do, but I do know another thing. This team is also a very stout team this year. USC, I think, is a little bit better than they were last year. I know everyone, last week you talked yesterday on the SoCal Screen Sports Show about Rice. You got to give Rice their props. They fought USC for a little bit before it got out of hand. But overall, good stuff there. And, we have ourselves some football to watch today. So, with that said, Teran, what a show, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, like I said, guys, I know we got a little bit of a later start today. No issues. Life happens. No biggie. Next week, we'll be back, of course, our regular time, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, you guys know what comes next. Cue the music, because we're out of here. Teran, my boy, where can they find you, man?
Twitter at Teran Rodriguez1. That is Teran, then Rodriguez, then the number 1.
Awesome, y'all. Well, you can follow me, your boy Larry, at THEE_LB53. You can follow us all as a whole at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My gosh, we got to get back on that thing. Facebook at IE Sports Radio. We're all over the place, y'all. So, with that said, show some love. Head over to IESportsRadio.com. Be all kinds of cool stuff there. Some shirts that, I can finally start sending out. Definitely had a kind of a crazy summer, but really, really happy that things are really good on track. And, hey, pick you up a shirt today. Show us some love, and, hey, get involved. If you want to join our Patreon, we definitely appreciate you guys. Helps us pay the bills around here at IA Sports Radio. So we keep things going. Definitely helps us out a lot, trust me. So with that said, you guys, we appreciate you all so very much. And, that is going to do it. So many good games today. And, we're going to keep on rolling with the good old college football moving forward. So, with that said, you guys, talked lots of great football today. For Mr. Teran Rodriguez, for me, your boy Larry B, and for, of course, all of the die-hard college football fans here at IA Sports Radio, we thank you all for listening, and we are signing off. We will see you next Saturday. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.